Welcome back, everyone. I know I just talked to you like last week, but it is a new day, a new book, and we finished the first Harry Potter book. I really hope that you enjoyed the article and video from last week. I always try to put a lot of effort into these things and make it fun for you guys, because it's already fun for me. I mean, I get to just sit here and talk to myself about Harry Potter. So, of course I have a good time, but I really wanted it to be a big, like, end of the book celebration, and yeah, I hope you liked it. I'll definitely be whipping out the robes again and the big goblet drink holder. You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the name right now, but they'll be coming back probably when we finish the books. I mean, let's just make it a party every time. And I'm actually wearing green today, a good olive green, because we're going to be encountering the heir of Slytherin, snakes, a lot of Slytherin snakes. Oh God. I hope I haven't scared all of you off already, but hey, I'm just really excited, okay? And if you're new here, promise we're not always this crazy, but welcome. This is a Harry Potter book club where we're going through all of the books 1 or 2 chapters at a time. We're really breaking them down, and just tune in every week and we'll talk about Harry Potter together. This book club is connected to my editing website, MadisonKdarby.com. You can find more about it there, and you can also follow my social media handles, which are located on that website. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you will get notifications when new ones come out. So before we jump into this book, I did put a poll on a couple of my different social media platforms to discover the most popular Harry Potter book. And at the time I'm recording this video, I'm still getting responses, but I wanted to give you my guess. I think the most popular one is either going to be, I guess I shouldn't do 2, but I am, okay. It's either gonna be Prisoner of Azkaban, book 3, or The Half-Blood Prince in book 6. I just feel like they are the most popular ones, especially Prisoner of Azkaban. It might be Prisoner of Azkaban. Because they're just awesome. I told you I'm not gonna tell you what my favorite book is, but today you'll find out if it's this one. I'll let you know in a second. And actually, my brothers-in-law, like I've told you, they are reading the Harry Potter books, and they're currently in Prisoner of Azkaban, and we are about to read the chapter. Like, Buckbeak has just been executed, you know, like, they're under the invisibility cloak, Ron's holding Scabbers, and he's like trying to bite him. Like, that's where the chapter ended last night. I was over at their house, and I go in there and I listen to it, of course. And they don't even know what's coming. I'm so excited. So either tonight or tomorrow, I'm gonna be hearing that chapter in Prisoner of Azkaban for all of you book 3 fans out there, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait. Like I mentioned, at the beginning of each book, I'm going to tell you whether it's my favorite or not. So to start, here is the book, Prisoner of Azkaban. Oh, it's on my mind, isn't it? The Chamber of Secrets. So as usual, there's just such cool cover art. Like, I love this edition of the books. They're just so colorful. Like I said, when you put them together, they make the Hogwarts castle. So, is this book my favorite? It is not my favorite, but that doesn't mean I don't like it. There isn't one book I don't like, honestly. I'm being serious. Although, I have found that this is like people's least favorite book a lot of the times. Honestly, when I think about it, like, it might be my least favorite if I had to have a least favorite. I'm not sure why. I'll talk about this after we're done with the book. I'll do a little book overview and I'll address that, like maybe why it's other people's least favorite book. Oh, I also have the rant stick today. It will be making an appearance, I'm sure of it. And for the mug, I'm bringing a throwback. This is the first one I ever used on the show, and I'll probably bring it out every time we start a new book. If you haven't seen it, it's one of those that changes colors. It says always, has a big tree, and there's a Patronus somewhere. Oh, it's here. It's the dough Patronus, if you can see it, I don't know. But gonna bring that back at the beginning of every book. Look at us, we already have traditions. So now that I have successfully rambled for a while, here is chapter 1, the worst birthday. We're gonna start with that and then also talk about chapter 2 because these chapters just really flow together. Okay, is it just me or are the Dursleys like almost worse in this one? Maybe it's just been a while because I did write an article about how bad Harry had it early on in the book club. Like in the second episode, I talked about how he's able to still keep positive and his innocence about him, even though he's in an awful situation. But I was just really shocked when I read these 2 chapters because even in the second chapter, after, you know, the hover charm goes wrong and the pudding goes everywhere, they really could have starved him. Like, it's bad. Going to the bathroom twice a day? And forget that, they almost starve Hedwig. Hedwig is not even allowed out of her cage. Like, we think Harry's summer is bad. Hedwig's first summer at the Dursleys is literally the worst. She's like, what have I walked into? Like, where am I? But at first, Harry's summer isn't absolutely awful because the Dursleys don't know he can't do magic, but he isn't getting letters from his friends. And I've written an article about this as well, about communication in the wizarding world and the difficulties that Harry has with it. And this is just one of the biggest examples. Like, this is his only connection to the wizarding world, so it's just really horrible that he's not able to talk to his friends during this time and think that they're ignoring him. It's also his only connection to decent people, so let's keep that in mind. And on top of that, the Dursleys have forgotten his birthday, or they're ignoring it. And fun fact, J.K. Rowling's birthday is also Harry's birthday. They share a birthday, which, I mean, why not? I think I would do that. But also, I think Harry's birthday falls at a really nice time because it's right before he goes back to Hogwarts. He doesn't have a birthday that is at Hogwarts, and it just fell really nicely for when he found out he was a wizard. I don't know, it works out. So this whole chapter is a bit sad and slow. I don't mean that in like a terrible way, but you know, the Dursleys and Harry are just getting ready for this big dinner party for a client of Uncle Vernon's. We're finding out some, I don't know, like a recap of the first Harry Potter book. And then Harry does see a huge pair of eyes staring at him out of a hedge. And we know who it is. When the dinner party begins, there is someone sitting on Harry's bed. And it's Dobby! Woo! Dobby the house-elf. Man, I would be horrified if I saw him. But I guess Harry's been in the wizarding world for a year now. He's seen magical creatures, so I'm sure he handled it better than I would have. But honestly, I have a question we're going to focus on today, and it is, what do you think of Dobby? Do you like him as a character? Do you not? Are you just like, eh? Let me know in the comments. I hear a lot that there are some people that are annoyed by Dobby, and I decided to analyze that for my article this week. It is all about Dobby, so I have that in the description box of this video and you can click on it and read it there. The thing I love about Dobby is that he is a slow grow character. You know, we meet him in this book, but as the books continue, like, he just really transforms and is such a cool character. And like, of course we have a lot of characters that stick with us through all the books, but Dobby is different because I'm gonna rant in this one, he's a character that did not feature much in the movies. He is in 5 books, 2 movies. What did he do to deserve this? Like, honestly, I'd kind of forgotten about that. I didn't remember that he was in the 6th Harry Potter book. That's the one. I forgot about that one. Because I've just watched the movies a lot. I haven't read the books in forever, and they did him wrong. And honestly, I think that's why people think Dobby is annoying, because they're going off of movie Dobby as opposed to book Dobby. Because if you're doing that, you basically only get him in the 2nd movie, which we'll talk about in a second. And then in the 7th, he pops back up and you're like, oh yeah, it's Dobby. But you don't have like the relationship between him and Harry. You don't get any investment from seeing him grow and change. And so no wonder people get annoyed with Dobby. Like, you literally only get him in the 2nd movie and then he dies in the 7th, but not that people weren't sad, but if you're just depending on the movies, you don't get like the actual heartache because you didn't grow to love him in the rest of the books. What were they thinking? So if you do think that Dobby is annoying, I can kind of see where you're coming from, because I think we mainly focus on movie Dobby and we don't get the character development that's present in the books that makes him so lovable. Like, if you love him from the movies, you would mainly love him because he's like good intentions, but I don't know, like you just really miss out. And then, like I said, if you focus on movie Dobby, you mainly get the interactions from this movie, The Chamber of Secrets, which primarily includes Dobby trying to hurt Harry out of good intentions for the majority of the time. Like, not some good moments for him in there. But a little bit I want to talk about with this. It was a huge risk in the second book for Dobby to even be interacting with Harry. You know, we know that Dobby serves the Malfoy family, which I cannot even imagine. They're just horrible. Before we move on, I do want to address something really quick before we start getting into Dobby and all of that. We are going to be tackling the subject of house-elves at some point. It's not going to be today. So, like, if you're here and you're like, why isn't she talking about house-elves and their place in the Harry Potter books? I am definitely going to do that. It might be in this book, but I really want to wait until Spew comes in. I do call it Spew. I don't call it S-P-E-W. But it comes along in the fourth book. And I kind of want to talk about it there, because then we can really go into it in depth and get Hermione's perspective on it and, you know, this organization she creates. And even in the fifth, you have like wizard superiority, you know, showing itself that we can go into there. So I just want you to know I'm definitely going to talk about it, but I enjoy talking about subjects like that, or any subject, when it is most relevant for the book and when we have like all this information in front of us. So I am going to be doing that. But back to Dobby. So he's working for the Malfoy family and he overhears Lucius Malfoy talking about Voldemort. At the moment, I can't really remember what exactly he hears, but he knows that like something to do with Voldemort is going to be happening at the school. Whether he knows it's the Chamber of Secrets, I don't know. I can't remember what Dobby knows, all right? Give me a break. But he knows something dangerous to do with Voldemort is going to be happening at Hogwarts. So, Harry is a stranger to him, and he disobeys his family, which is painful and a real sacrifice, to seek out this person that he doesn't know and warn him about this. That just takes a lot of guts, and I think that that right there shows us a lot about who Dobby is and what drives him and the type of heart that he has. Also, fun fact, Voldemort is what a boggart would manifest as if Dobby were to be confronted with one. So Voldemort is Dobby's worst fear, and he's protecting this boy he's heard all these wonderful things about from his greatest fear at great risk to himself. So that basically summarizes why I think that Dobby is so cool. And honestly, I had fun researching for this video because I have taken Dobby for granted. I am ashamed to say, I really have. Like I said, it's been a while since I've read the books. I've watched the movies a lot, and I think you can just get into this mindset of forgetting the power behind Dobby's decisions and just how great he is. So I'm glad to be reanalyzing him. So, do Dobby's actions get out of hand in this book? I mean, yeah. The bludger was bad, but like I said, I think Dobby is just so pure of heart, and we're going to be paying a lot of attention to him as we move through the series. In my opinion, he is the purest character in the books. Let's be real. I think the saddest part of this chapter is the way that Dobby reacts to kindness from Harry. Like, it's rough. Gosh, I don't even know what to say. Because it's just so sad. And it shows a lot about the type of person Harry is. And you know what? Okay, forget that. We're going on a rant for a second. It shouldn't say a lot about Harry. People should just be decent and be kind to your fellow man and your fellow creature, no matter what. We shouldn't have to look at Harry here and be like, wow, Harry is a really standout from the crowd guy. There should be more decent people in the wizarding world. Just really, there's a lot you can learn from the Harry Potter books. If you're gonna learn anything, just love other people. and treat them with kindness. Harry telling Dobby to sit down on the bed shouldn't make him cry. And look, I know these people aren't real. It may seem like I'm being crazy here, but I think it just represents a bigger principle that can be had in our lives of just treating other people better than you would treat yourself. Like, just be a light to people out there in the world. Be like Harry, honestly. Be like Harry in this instance, and just show goodness to everyone you come in contact with, because you never know what that'll mean to someone. You never know what they're going through and what they've experienced, and just be a light. That's all I have to say. Oh, gosh, I'm feeling flushed from that. That was intense. Let's move on. Another way that Dobby is brave and resilient is that there's obviously some things that he tells Harry that he's not supposed to, because the magic that binds him, he has to punish himself for it afterward. So he's able to give Harry some information, but not everything. But at the end of all this, Dobby basically tells Harry he shouldn't go back to Hogwarts. He has been withholding the letters. Not a good moment from Dobby. He's been holding back the letters from Ron, Hermione, Hagrid, so that Harry wouldn't want to go back. And yeah, for the record, I don't think Dobby knew the situation that Harry was in and just how terrible his life is and how he's not able to communicate with the outside world, and it's just the only thing giving him happiness. So maybe if he'd known that, I don't know. So Harry obviously is like, no, definitely going back to Hogwarts. And this is when Dobby kind of gives him the ultimatum of, I'm gonna drop the pudding, your family's gonna get you in trouble. And he does it. Pretty sad. From this point, Harry's living situation gets even worse. The Dursleys know he can't do magic or use magic, and he gets locked in his room. There's a cat flap on the door, bars on his window, like, gosh. But we do get a glimmer of hope. Well, it's not just a glimmer, it's a very bright light coming through the window. So let's read the last paragraph of chapter 2. Okay, in this scene, Harry is having a nightmare about being in a zoo and people looking at him through the bars. So just to give you some context. Stop it, Harry muttered as the rattling pounded in his sore head. Leave me alone, cut it out. I'm trying to sleep. He opened his eyes. Moonlight was shining through the bars on the window, and someone was goggling through the bars at him. A freckle-faced, red-haired, long-nosed someone. Ron Weasley was outside Harry's window. Never been so excited to see Ron. Now we're going to visit the Burrow for the first time, get to know more of the Weasley family, see Harry interact with his future wife, it's gonna be really, really nice. I'm so excited to go to the Burrow. That's it for chapters 1 and 2 of Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Y'all are gonna have to catch me. I'm afraid I might say Sorcerer's Stone every now and then. I'm so used to saying it. But we are in the second book, you guys. Thank you for joining in today. I hope that you liked it, and read chapter 3 for next week. And before we go, I got so many nice comments from you guys about last week's video and article. Thank you so much. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I just enjoy doing this for me, and I don't know, I just like having a little community of Harry Potter people to talk about it with. So thank you very much. I'm really excited to keep going. So if you liked this video and if you like the article, don't forget to read it, because I go into more about Dobby there. Share it with all the Harry Potter fans in your life, and let's grow this community of, how many times am I going to say community of Harry Potter people in this video? But for now, I need to go finish the rest of my tea. I didn't even tell y'all I had tea today. It was really good. And I'll see you guys next time to talk about chapter 3. We really will be only covering one chapter next week. So read that one, and I'll see you next time.